Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say, it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Monday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. The Super Bowl champs are your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We will talk about that today. Get your comments, your feedback. I'll give you my thoughts on the game. We're hoping to be joined sometime here in the first segment by Koepka Carlisle, former NFL offensive lineman for 13 years. Talk to him a little bit about what he saw last night. Second portion of the show, we will be joined by JC Deacon, head golf coach of the Florida Gators men's golf team. Speaking of that, Koepka is your winner of the Waste Management Open. But yes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are your Super Bowl champs. And I want to get your comments on that, what you thought about the game today, or last night, I should say. My thoughts are the Bucs, for Tom Brady winning his 7th Super Bowl, and yes, he brings something to the table that no other player has ever brought. He ain't the reason they won, folks. I don't care if he was the MVP or what. He threw for 201 yards. The reason the Tampa Bay Bucs won, because of their front four. You cannot play in the NFL with backup offensive linemen and have your quarterback run for his life. I don't know if I've ever seen a professional quarterback under that much duress during an entire game. And Patrick Mahomes played his tail off. The way he escaped the rush, made plays, some of the throws he made were ridiculous. It was all the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is the reason they won, not Tom Brady. Yes, Tom Brady made that team better. But if you think Tom Brady was the reason they won the Super Bowl, you're crazy as hell. It's Todd Bowles and his defensive front and the Kansas City offensive line that couldn't block anyone rushing past. I have never seen that kind of just Olay blocks in the National Football League. It was awful. And yeah, Tampa ran the football well. But gosh, their defense, Todd Bowles, there's rumors out there that Todd Bowles is going to be the head coach of the Bucs next year, that Bruce Arians is still going to be a part of the organization, but he's going to kind of step aside and let Todd Bowles run it. I think Todd Bowles deserves it. I tell you, his plan, his players played extremely well. We're going to try to get Koepka Carlisle on the phone here, talk a little offensive line play. Bill Wiles says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Devin White was the best player on the field. There is no question. He ran down. One time, I think it was Edwards-Helaire broke a little draw play for about 25, and he just flat out ran him down. And I tell you, the Bucs linebackers are outstanding, but their front four just pressured the heck out of him. Rick says here, and who bet against Brady and the Bucs? Jim Mattress Mackingale. After paying a little extra in juice to get the Bucs at 3.5, he won $2.72 million. Wow, good for him. I'm sure a lot of people won some money last night. There's no question. And then Brandon says here on Facebook Live, Bruce did say he didn't do a damn thing last night. Well, I mean, he's a good football coach. But the thing about Arians, he's done it different than most people. He's got 2 African-American coordinators. Byron Leftwich is his offensive coordinator. Todd Bowles is his defensive coordinator. You don't see that in the NFL very often. He's also got 2 women on his staff as well. Bruce Arians is a great guy. I got to play in his golf tournament. He and Dan Mullen hosted a golf tournament up in Georgia 2 years ago. And I was fortunate enough to get to meet him. Good guy, no doubt about it. I think we have Koepka Carlisle on the line now, former NFL player, 13 years in the trenches for the Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. Good morning, Coop. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, Shane. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I just wanted to get you on today, Coop, because you and I watched that game last night, and I know what Tom Brady has done is phenomenal. 7 Super Bowl wins in 10 games. Take nothing away from him. But the more I thought about it, once the game was over, I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback run for his life in the National Football League like Patrick Mahomes did. And I think it goes to show you the importance of the big guys up front, that sometimes backups can step in and play okay. But when you have 2 and 3 backups playing in the Super Bowl, they're going to get exposed. Just your thoughts on pass protection.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that, like you said, Brady's unbelievable. His career is the best ever, all that. But I definitely think that game was won up front, actually on both sides of the ball. But you're right. So they lost a guy. One of their starters last year went to fight the pandemic as a doctor in Canada, and then they lost a guy early in training camp. So that's 2, and then they lost 2 tackles, which really made 3 positions change. So they moved 1 tackle over, and then bumped 1 in, and then moved the guard. So it's a lot of stuff to, and obviously those guys are good players in the NFL, but they're not probably what starters were, at least at this point in their careers. So yeah, Mahomes was running for his life. It's a different game. The one thing that I thought was really telling was I heard after the game, and I noticed that they didn't do a lot, but I think they got so much pressure on Mahomes, and they only blitzed, they said, 5 times. So when you're able to create that kind of pressure with your front 4, it really puts the offense in a bind.
Yeah, JPP and Shaq Barrett, they couldn't block them, and I was just trying to think back. I mean, I don't know if I even seen college kids have to run for their life like that. And and I was thinking, sometimes in the college game, I guess professionals, and Andy Reid probably thought this as well. Look, these guys are professionals. They're paid to do their job. They have to block that guy by himself. Sometimes they kept the back end on pass protection, but they never kept a tight end in. And we all know that Travis Kelce is more of a pass receiving tight end. But it just sometimes in the NFL, I wonder why not max protect, but have your tight end chip or help or whatever just to give your quarterback a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do think there's some things that, maybe in hindsight they would have done. But again, they're getting all this pressure, not blitzing. So they've got a lot of guys playing on the back end that they need to, if you max protect and they're still not blitzing, well, you got a bunch of DBs covering 2 guys. So it's always a give and take. And Tampa just outplayed them up front on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, when you look at the Tampa Bay offense, Coop, I think, like you said, Brady was the MVP. Brady threw for 201 yards and was the MVP. I think their offensive line was the difference as well. I mean, their defensive line made a huge difference, but they were able to control the clock, control the football, running Leonard Fournette and the other kid from USC. Just talk about what you thought about their offensive line play.
Yeah, I thought they protected Brady pretty well. And Chiefs got some defensive linemen that are good, obviously, but really good players. And I thought they protected well. The other thing that I say is, yes, I do think they played well. The balanced attack, they're able to stay on the field, all those things. And I think Romo and those guys mentioned that. But the other thing that goes along with that is, they're able to stay on the field and have balanced attack. Well, you certainly have to pick up third downs, but you also have to be able to get Mahomes off the field. You're not, so that, it works together because you're not playing from behind. You're not having to throw. You're not down 2 touchdowns early if Mahomes is on fire on the other side of the ball. So they were able to kind of stay to a game plan, keep Mahomes off the field. And Tom was able to convert on some third downs. They were huge.
We got a Facebook Live here. Joe says it's brought to you by Melton Law. Says he was pressured 29 of his 56 dropbacks. Hell, it seemed a lot more than that to me. Natasha says Mahomes ran for his life and never gave up. I am a Tampa native, lifelong Bucks fan, and work for the Bucks. But that kid threw some amazing passes. Thank goodness for the rest of the team didn't show up like he did. Great night to be a Buck fan. Look, regardless if they won or lost, no other quarterback in the National Football League would have gotten any of those throws off last night. I saw a picture on Twitter. I wish I could put it on here. He is literally horizontal to the ground and is slinging a ball like 35 yards. He was amazing last night in a losing effort. We got a text here on the Titan MR text line. It comes from Daryl. He says, Shane, I think Tampa's defense should be the MVP. Are they changing their name from Tampa to Champa Bay? Well, the city of Tampa is very excited now with the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Rays, and now your world champ, Tampa Bay Bucks. All right, Coop, looking forward to next year, which, everybody turns the page now and starts getting ready for next year. I don't know who all are free agents with the Bucks. I want to say Shaq Barrett is. He'll probably get paid by somebody. But if pretty much this team stays in place and Tom says he's coming back, could they repeat?
Yeah, I mean, obviously repeating's hard, as we saw on the other side of the ball there last night. But sure, I mean, I think they're as talented as anybody on the offensive side of the ball, and they got a lot of good players on defense. So I don't know who else free agent. Shaq Barrett, if he is in fact, will get a pile of money from somebody, and who knows if that can be the Bucks with caps and everything. I don't know where they are with all that, but yeah, I mean, Tom will. Tom will keep you in games and win games and all that, and then he's got a lot of weapons, and they're good up front. So I don't see why they won't have a productive year. It's interesting that they had that, they kind of struggled there in November. That Saints game, it just kind of snowballed, but they got blown out by the Saints the second time they played them, and then they just, for whatever reason, after their bye, they got hot, and certainly hot at the right time.
Well, you think about their run, they struggled and had to, I don't want to say struggle, but it was a close game, their first playoff game, that wild card game against the Washington Redskins, when that Heineke kid was running all over them. And then they beat Drew Brees. We all know Drew Brees isn't the same Drew Brees, but their defense basically shut the Saints down. Then you go to Lambeau, and you got Aaron Rodgers, who won the MVP. They pretty much shut him down and called some interceptions and harassed him because they were missing their all-pro left tackle. So, like I said, the story is Tom Brady, going to Tampa, winning the Super Bowl, and I get it. He is the greatest quarterback of all time. But when I look at this team, the reason they won the world championship is because of their defense and Todd Bowles, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think anybody would argue that. I mean, if you could, what did they have 6 points? Kansas City have 6 points in the first half, or maybe just 3. I can't even remember. But anyway, they went down on scored 3 points early, and really, I mean, Mahomes had 100 yards in the first passing in the first, I don't know, 30-something minutes of play. I don't think anybody would have guessed that would have happened. They just had their number, had a great scheme, and then executed it well, and pressured them, and they double their Travis Kelce and Hill, and it just seemed with that, and then getting pressure without blitzing was obviously very productive for him.
Refresh your vehicle and your brand with a vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. February is your lucky month at Wrap Spot. Mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. We're speaking with Cooper Carlisle here on the Titan MRI hotline. A few more minutes with Coop. Coop, we had a couple people here on Facebook talk about the linebacker play of the Buccaneers. And, you and I, those two guys can fly. From an offensive lineman standpoint, sometimes y'all's job is to double team and try to get to the second level. Talk about how difficult it would be, just watching it. You didn't get to watch game tape, but watching those guys on TV with their athleticism and their speed, how difficult it must be to try to get to the second level with those guys.
Yeah, it is. You saw when they would run, like I think they ran kind of a little pitch sweep to one of their receivers, and Devin White came out there and made the play. Anytime you're running kind of wide plays outside the tackles, outside the kind of trying to get on the perimeter, it just makes it tough for a guard to try to run down, even with angles and everything else. Try to run down or get in the way or whatever you want to say of a linebacker that's fast.
We got a text here on the Titan MR text line, and it comes from Joseph. Joseph says, Shane, could you please ask Cooper how much trash talking goes on between the O-line and the D-line on about every play?
Yeah, sometimes it's every game and every player is different. I mean, you'll play against guys where you that won't say a word all game, good, bad, indifferent. You can, and then there's some guys that just constantly talk. So I think it's every player is a little different, kind of, like anywhere else. You go play golf with guys. Some guys talk the whole time. Some guys don't say a word. But I mean, there's certainly a lot of talking. But then again, maybe not as much as you would think. It just depends on the guy.
What was that one story you told me about? I don't know if it was trash talking, but it was pretty funny that I can't remember the entire story. Do you remember the one I'm talking about? You were saying how a guy, you were talking to the other guy. Well, anyway, I can't remember. So do you have a good story you could tell us about you and a defensive lineman during your career, whether it was trash talking, something funny said, or what have you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what you're talking about.
Yeah, I wish I could remember.
I don't know. One time, you may be talking about this story. It's kind of funny. We were playing this is when I was in Denver. We were playing Carolina, and all the jerseys get taped, right? So you can't grab them. Both sides of the ball, offensive, defensive lineman jerseys get taped or Velcroed or whatever, so they're real tight and not able to grab them. But Chris Jenkins was a huge defensive lineman at the time, and I had grabbed his jersey and kind of moved it around on the tape where his jersey was all messed up, and he just looked at me and held his arms out and didn't say anything. And I said, "Man, look how big you are compared to me. I had to hold you." And he goes, "That's why I didn't even say anything." So I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not.
Yeah, I think that was one of them. But all right, Coop. Well, we appreciate you taking the time. Bucks are your world champs, and Tom Brady was 7 Super Bowls. I mean, like I said, I played 14 years in the league. You played 13 years in the league. Neither one of us were even on a team that ever went to the Super Bowl. This dude has been to 10 of them and won 7 of them. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable. I think Mahomes is as talented as any guy to come along a long time, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls in what is he, 4 years? But I just can't imagine someone going to 10 Super Bowls, especially as productive as Tom. Maybe if you're a kicker and you sneak into a bunch of them somehow, but it's unimaginable that, like you said, we have 27 years between us and 0 appearances. And Tom's played in 10 of them. I mean, it's mind-boggling. It really is.
It is, and I think if anybody has a chance of getting to 10 Super Bowls, it will be Mahomes. I mean, he has 2 in his first 3 years of starting, but if he has to take a beating like he did the other night, he will not get 10 years. There's no way he makes 10. I still can't believe what I saw last night. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback. Coop, there were some horrible blocks thrown by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, they did, and it when you're down big and they know you're throwing and those guys can rush, it's not a fun place to be as an offensive lineman when you're just.
Good point.
You're just those guys. They don't care about the run because the run's not going to beat them generally at that point. So it's a tough position to be in. There's no doubt. But yeah, they were that defensive lineman, the defensive line, in my opinion, kind of won that game, or at least certainly did more than their part.
Yep. Well, Coop, we appreciate you taking the time to join us. I just wanted to get an offensive lineman's perspective because, the Chiefs just couldn't block anybody last night, and give Tampa Bay a lot of credit. Appreciate it, buddy. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Y'all take care.
That's Cooper Carlisle. Join us on the Titan MR hotline. We got a couple of Facebook Lives here brought to you by Melvin Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Trey says Tampa would be a good landing spot for Kyle Trask, possibly. We'll see. I still think the experts say Kyle's going to be the 6th or 7th quarterback taken. Now that can change, but that's what they project. Maybe it's the 6th quarterback. And, Tampa will be looking for someone. I mean, Blaine Gabbert, I don't think is their answer once Tom hangs it up. Rick says here on Facebook Live, doesn't Mahomes need surgery on his toe? He's got a former turf toe. Sometimes they'll do surgery. Sometimes they'll rehab it and see what happens. But I tell you, folks, I know Brady's getting all the attention. Brady, what he's done, you can't even talk about it. It's so amazing. But that kid right there, what he did last night was unbelievable, in my opinion. If you got a text, shoot us a text, folks. If not, a Facebook Live question. Don't forget, in the second portion of our show, we're going to talk to Florida Gators head men's golf coach, JC Deacon. They have the Gator Invitational kicking off here in Gainesville this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You're welcome to go out and watch that. We'll talk about his team, their victory in the Timuquana Invitational a couple of weeks ago over in Jacksonville. He's got a really good player. Ricky Castillo is a heck of a player. Let's see. We got another text here. It comes from Joe. Joe wants to know, Shane, do you know when the Gators will be playing basketball again? Joe, that's a great question. No, I don't. The game this week, I believe, I can't remember who we were supposed to play, has already been canceled. I'm not sure who has COVID, but someone on the team or contact tracing or what have you. So not sure when the Gators will be back in action. Speaking of basketball, Alabama gets beaten this weekend by Missouri. Missouri's a good basketball team. Alabama's struggling a little bit right now, scoring the basketball. You got to score to win. That's what I like to say. Shots have to go in, folks. So anyway, anxious to talk to JC Deacon, talk a little golf, talk about what's going on in the world of golf. We'll have JC back on Wednesday. My golfer, again, I've beaten him in our Peachland Dentistry golf picks every week. Xander Schauffele, I think, came in second in this tournament. So I'm kicking his butt in golf. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. A couple more Facebook Lives here, brought to you by Meldon Law. Rick says you can't say Redskins. Yeah, well, I'm always going to say Redskins. Hell, I played for them. It's hard not to. Can't call them the Washington football team. And I'm curious if anybody knows when they're going to pick a name. Does anybody know that? Also, don't forget, if you want one of these signed Chomp Harder hats, go to potupwithshane.com. And we got a run harder for our runners. If you like to run harder. Let's see what else we got. We got a hunt harder if you like hunting. We got a fish harder. We got them all. So go to potupwithshane.com, and you don't have to answer any questions. Just fill out your information, and we will have a drawing each week, and we will get that hat to you or ship it to you or what have you. But we appreciate Chomp Harder being part of our program. Michael says on Facebook Live, the Chiefs were not into it mentally. What about the penalties? Well, look, they got a ton of penalties called on them. Some of them were questionable. You'll hear some of the NFL experts talk about some of that stuff should have just gone. They should have let it go. I just think they got outplayed. I think the Bucs had a better plan on offense and defense, and I think the offensive line issues were the big difference in the game. When you can't block, and the Chiefs. I mean, it would have been a different story if the Chiefs had their starting offensive line. They were missing 3 starters, and they could not block the front four. And as Cooper said, if you get pressure with your front four and you are dropping 7 into coverage and your quarterback's running for your life, you have no chance. We got Sandy says here, referring to the Redskins deal, she says, whatever, why do we still call FSU the Seminoles? Because I think the Seminole tribe here in the state of Florida gave them permission and said they have no problem calling them the Seminoles. I just call them the Semis. So, but yeah, back to Michael mentally. I just think the Chiefs, they had trouble, man. They were frustrated, because the quarterback, Tyreek Hill, couldn't get open because they had so many guys covering him. But like I said, the front four put so much pressure on him, there was nothing they could do. So, folks, let me tell you about a new sponsor we have, G-Tech Clean. You got to check this out. You can go to our website, potupwithshane.com, and you can sign up for a free sample kit right here of 3. But let me show you how this stuff works.
G-Tech Clean is your complete germ protection. It's EPA approved to kill COVID-19 and kills 99.9% of all germs and viruses, black mold, and also deodorizes. It's the safest, affordable way to clean and sanitize your business, no matter if it's a gym, school, retail store, or office. Use it in your home anywhere from the bathroom to the kids' room. It's formulated to provide 24/7 protection and is over 30 times more durable than any other cleaners. Try G-Tech at home as well.
G-Tech Clean. I use this to keep the Pot Up studio clean of any viruses, all germs, and COVID-19 related issues, and so should you. We're going to take our first time out of Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning on this Monday edition. When we come back, we'll be joined by head men's golf coach, JC Deacon. You're watching Pot Up with Matthews from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our Gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Chomp Harder Apparel,
Silver Q, State Farm Insurance Agent Ruse Ogra.
If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all our great sponsors that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Celebration Point's where the Gators go to celebrate, with premium brands like Bass Pro Shop, Nike, Sensei, Dave & Buster's coming soon, Prime and Pearl, and coming spring of 2021, the HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and Visor's Rooftop Bar. We will see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators come to celebrate. We're now going to go to the Titan MR hotline, and we are joined by the head golf coach, men's golf coach, JC Deacon. Good morning, JC. How are you?
Shane, how you doing, man? Good to hear from you. I'm good.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about your spring season. You started a couple of weeks ago. Y'all won the Timuquana Invitational there. I think you won in a playoff against Liberty. Talk a little bit about your team, who played well, and what kind of battle it was against Liberty to win.
Yeah, it was a really neat way to start the year. We I wouldn't say we played our best, but we kind of just got enough from everyone to be in the hunt coming down the stretch. And Ricky Castillo, who was National Freshman of the Year last year, he made a late birdie and a couple pars for us, big up and down on 18 to get in the playoff against Liberty. Liberty's kind of maybe not normally a household name, but they got 3 older, mature seniors who are awesome, and they've got a really strong team this year. So it was a really good test for us. And then we got in the playoff, and just a really cool atmosphere. Had a bunch of members around and a bunch of people watching, and a bit of pressure early in the season with all the eyes on the boys, but they really stepped up. We had 9 pars and a birdie out of our, we played 2 holes. We had 5 guys, and those were our scores for the 2 holes. So I was incredibly impressed, and they were very, very excited when we won. Joe Pagden, our young freshman, made a really nice birdie, going driver 9-iron on the second hole. He hit it to about 2 feet and made birdie. But Ricky had an 8th place finish, which led us. And he played super solid. He was like 70, 67, 73. Lots of good golf. I know he was a little disappointed. He really wanted to win that tournament in the final round, but he hung in there for us. And then our Yushin Lin, our newcomer, he's transferred from USC and played his first event and contributed a bunch of solid rounds. And then he actually just this morning or just this weekend finished first in our qualifier. So he's been a great addition, really made us a lot more competitive on and off the golf course. And so it was just a super way to start the year. And I know the guys are super excited, but we've got a lot of work to do. And these guys are hungry to really prove something.
Coach, what are your thoughts about Timuquana? It's one of my favorite courses in the Jacksonville area because it's so old school.
Shane, it's one of my favorite golf courses in the world.
Oh, wow.
I love that. I love that place. Just, you go out that back deck and you got the whole city of Jacksonville over the water, and it's just a stunning setting and a lot of great people there. Blanton Tesson and his staff do a great job in the pro shop. And, of course, a bunch of our esteemed alumni, including Steve Melnick, are members up there. So we've always felt at home. And when we got a chance to play a collegiate event out there, we jumped on it. And I'll tell you what, for kind of a shorter course, my guys absolutely loved it. They were asking me after the event, Coach, can we play there every year? That place is awesome. So you don't always hear that out of the young guys. They usually like the big old golf courses, but this Donald Ross gem was a treat for all of us, and just we felt really lucky to play a tournament out there.
We're speaking with head men's golf coach JC Deacon on the Tightenham Heartline. You can follow him on Twitter at Real JC Deacon. Coach, explain to all our listeners how you go about deciding who plays in your tournaments, because I want to say you pick 5 for the team events, correct? And those 5
Correct.
guys can all play as individuals as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. So there's every event we play, there's a individual side of it where an individual winner is crowned. And then obviously there's the team side of it. So these guys are playing for a lot each and every week. And it's really entertaining. There's a lot going on, but I think, to be honest, that is what's going to make our team so strong this year, is our depth. And our team qualifiers that we run at home have been incredibly competitive this year. So we'll before every tournament we'll run. I was brought up by Dwayne Knight, who's been the head coach at UNLV forever. I played for him and worked for him, and he has a really unique qualifying system that kind of mirrors Monday qualifying on the PGA Tour, which is something a lot of these guys, when they go to the next level, face. So that's what we're trying to prepare them for, is life as a tour pro and what they might see. So we have a team qualifier before every event, and we offer up 2 spots. So we have 13 guys on our team, and there's only 2 spots available every week. And it's, obviously with Ricky Castillo, who's been number 1 in the world, Yushin Lin's top 20 right now, Joe Pagden's top 50. It's very difficult to beat these guys at home. So we try and encourage our guys to treat our home tournaments like the away tournaments and like, the biggest tournaments they play, because it's just such an advantage to be able to play against that high level of competition week in and week out. And so it just makes us stronger. It pushes everyone to be better. And our best players have done a nice job of keeping each other sharp. So our qualifiers are incredibly competitive and have produced some strong teams, and we're gonna look to qualifying to really kind of shape this team going down the stretch. So it's crazy. We only have 4 more regular season events before the SEC championship. So it's, I know it's only February, but it's starting to get into crunch time.
No doubt. And this weekend, y'all have the Gator Invitational here in town. It's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tell all our listeners and viewers some of the teams that are going to be participating this weekend.
Well, it's a very unique Gator Invitational. I would like to call it a Super Gator because we are having 21 teams. Normally, it's usually kind of 12, 13, or 14. But due to COVID, as you know, a lot of teams were shut out in the fall and didn't get to play. So we didn't think it would be right to tell anyone, that we had already promised that they couldn't come. So we had our field, that we normally have from last year, and we've added 10 SEC teams. So you got Vanderbilt, Georgia, 2 of the top teams in the country. They're coming. Bama, Auburn, Tennessee. I mean, all the big boys are going to be here. Florida, North Florida, who's got a great team. Scott Schroeder's doing a good job up there. He'll be bringing his team. And then Liberty, who we had that great battle against last week, they'll be here as well. So I imagine it'll be kind of maybe a top 8, top 10 strength of field in all of college golf this year. So if you have a chance to get out to the Mark Bostic Golf Club next Valentine's Day weekend, the golf's going to be very high level, and it's going to take everything we got to try and get in contention and see if we can string another win.
That's what I was going to ask you. So spectators are still allowed to come out as long as they have a mask on and stay far away or what have you?
Yeah, socially distanced. And yes, there's, we feel pretty comfortable being an outside sport. We're pretty lucky with golf having that. So yeah, we're going to allow spectators and parents, which is nice because some of these parents haven't been able to watch their young kids compete in college golf yet. So there'll be 5 or 10 of these kids that'll be on your TV in 5 or 10 years on Sunday afternoons playing on the PGA Tour. And for the youngsters out there, you got a chance to get right up beside them and watch them hit shots and hear the sounds and watch these guys hit the ball. It's really very, very impressive, and it'd be a neat thing for anyone to see. So we're excited to have a little home field advantage and energy, and I know our guys, they're certainly going to be prepared to play.
Coach, speaking of COVID, you being an outside sport, I know it's been difficult on every coach at every level, at every sport. Have you had a lot of issues, or has it been hard to deal with it being a golf coach?
Yeah, it really has been. I think, maybe not as much at the tournaments and stuff like that because we are outside, because it's very easy to socially distance and kind of put protocols in to keep the guys away from each other. So the golf tournaments have actually been kind of the easiest part of all this. It's training 18, 19, 20-year-olds, to not be social. And that's really, really difficult. And to be honest, it's asking a lot for these guys because they dream of coming to college in the University of Florida their whole life. And then, they get here in September and you tell them, you can only hang out with your own team. And it's been really, really tough. And my hats are off to all my guys. We hadn't been perfect, but we've had very few issues, and our guys' discipline and commitment to the University of Florida and our golf team has been incredible. And I'm so proud of them for that. They've acted like men, and our trainer, Becca Maynor, she's just worked tirelessly to get us tested and keep us healthy and teach the guys what's right and wrong. And it's been a team effort. Duke's done a great job for us as well. And so it's been a long year with that type of stuff, but I do think they've all learned another level of discipline, maybe a little earlier in their life than they would have. And I think it will serve them well in the long run. So it's been a hectic year, but it's been a very rewarding year as well. I love this team, and I'm really proud of how they've conducted themselves.
At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. few more minutes with men's golf coach JC Deacon here on the Titan More Hotline from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Switching to the PGA Tour. JC, did I dream this? I could have sworn I saw something go across the ticker when I was watching ESPN or a golf tournament last week about, is it the RNA over in Europe talking about changing the golf clubs and the balls or something like that? Did I dream that, or did I read it correctly?
You read it correctly. Yeah, I think the USGA and RNA, I haven't read all the details yet, but they're looking at just changing things so that pros don't hit the ball so far or further. And Rory McIlroy actually earlier this week, Golf Channel posted it on their Instagram. He was just so well spoken, and I thought bang on, in my opinion. These guys, our players, the PGA Tour players, are like 0.001% of the golf population. And these guys do it at such a crazy level that you'll see if you came out to our tournament next weekend, how hard they hit it, how straight they hit it. And, I have an older brother who I play a lot with, my dad, and, they need the distance and they need the help with all these clubs. And we want people coming to the game. And not taking distance away and taking the ability to hit great shots and long shots is not a good idea in my opinion, for the greater good of the game. And the bombers are such a small population, and let's enjoy them and, maybe find some ways to, grow the rough or firm the greens up. I think those are two things that always provide great competition and kind of maybe equalize it a little bit so that accuracy is more important. But, we need to bring people to the game. And, my boss, Mike Spiegler, he's not very good at golf. He'll be the first one to tell you, but, he wants a golf club that's going to help him get it up in the air so he can hit a nice high drive and enjoy the game more. So if you make it harder for him, he's probably going to run away from it. So we don't want that. We want guys like Spieg playing lots of golf.
Yes, no doubt. I can't imagine Spiegler out on the golf course. So I want to ask your thoughts, because I've always said I'm an avid golfer. I think golf's the greatest sport in the world because there's set rules. You play by the rules. You don't have some guy in a striped shirt calling holding on the left tackle after you throw a 50-yard touchdown. It's called back. Yeah. You have the rules. So I guess it was 2 weeks ago, what Patrick Reed did. I want JC Deacon's thoughts on that.
Not good. Especially as a college golf coach, I'm beyond everything that we do. Look, our expectations are the highest, but we're going to do it right. And integrity is going to be the number one thing in our program. And our guys understand that from the first second they walk in this door, that they're going to be honest. They're going to tell the truth. And golf is the best sport in the whole world when it comes to that. We are expected to call penalties on ourselves, and every person in the field is held to that standard. And I would really like to believe, I think the most part of high level amateurs and professional golfers are really good at doing that. And that's what makes golf so special, is the game is bigger than all of us. And we like to uphold the traditions and do things right. And I think a lot of golfers take a ton of pride in that. And I thought what Patrick Reed said after the round was bang on. He kind of went by the rule and did what he was supposed to do. But when there's smoke this many times over and over and over, you're probably trying to get an edge. And golf is the one sport where you don't try and get an edge. You win and you do it right and you do it fairly and you do it honestly. And that's what makes winning so special, because you didn't cut any corners to get it.
Yeah. I mean, you're taught, don't touch your golf ball until it's in the hole. And all he had to do was call over an official before you pick it up. I don't know. I had an issue with it. And, and what's interesting, Rory McIlroy, I think in the same tournament did something as well. I think he called it.
That was the problem, Rory. Yeah, Rory did the exact same thing. And it was interesting what came out, because he didn't, and that's normal. If there's no doubt about it, you just wave over to your competitor and say, hey guys, my ball's embedded. I'm going to take relief, which is what Rory did. But it came out on Monday that the spectator or the volunteer that was looking for Rory's ball stepped on his ball when he or she was trying to find it. And they wrote a email to the PGA Tour documenting that, saying that, hey, I didn't tell Rory, and I know that people didn't see his ball bounce, but I stepped on it when I was finding it, and that's why his was embedded. So Rory said when he got that email, he felt so much better because he actually went to bed on Sunday night saying, man, did I do something wrong? Should I feel bad about this? So I know that email made him feel a lot better. And Rory is an unbelievable ambassador for the game of golf. I think he acts and treats the game exactly the way I want my guys to. And you're right. If you think you're ever doing something wrong, just call an official. And then there's no issues, and then if something goes wrong, you can blame it on them and you're off the hook. And it's unfortunate for Patrick Reed because he's a unbelievable talent. I think he's got one of the best short games in the entire world, and he doesn't need to cut corners. He's already good enough. So just do it right and make sure those officials are around, and I'm sure he'll have a very successful career.
Before we let you go, who are some of your favorite players you'd like to watch on tour?
Well, Tiger's number one. He's certainly the reason that I love the game so much, and I grew up, watching him. I'm a few years younger than him, but I got to kind of walk hand in hand in his career and watch every big moment. And I know you've watched a bunch of those, and Tiger could make you feel like nothing else. And when he was in contention on Sunday, getting in front of a TV was more important. He's the only one that really, it was more important for me to be watching him do his thing than me out there practicing. But I'm a huge Rory fan. He's fun to watch. I think Dustin Johnson's really, really special what he's doing. I love how simple Dustin makes the game. He plays a fade on most shots and doesn't overthink technique and stuff like that. And he's really, gained some discipline and work ethic. And he's number one player in the world now. And then, some of my guys that are coming up, Kurt Kitayama, who I coached at UNLV, fun to see him. He was terrible when he got to UNLV. He could barely break 75. He got the nickname The Project. He was so bad. And he got into up to 68th in the world at one point last year. And to watch young men work hard and listen and learn and grow their games and become better and become competitive in the world, like Sam Horsfield, who played for us here at Florida, that stuff's so special for me because you see it on a close-up level. So I'm just a huge fan of the game at all levels, and especially college golf. I think it's so special and so great for these young guys. And I especially right now, probably this team more than ever, I've got 13 of my favorite players on my team. I hadn't felt even remotely like I've worked a day this year. It's been so much fun working with my guys, and they're grinding so hard and want to be so great. And I got the greatest job in the world. It's crazy.
That's awesome. I got one last question because somebody was asking me this the other day. I'm one of those kind of guys. I've never been fitted for clubs. I just have what I have and I go play. But would you say for just the average golfer, well, for the pros too, the most important thing is having the correct shaft in your clubs?
100% with your driver. Driver and 3-wood for sure. I think the irons in most steel shafts, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. There's probably some people that think I'm crazy, but I mean, my dad can, he's older and can still get a X100 up in the air and generally hit a decent iron shot. But driver, 3-wood, 5-wood, you got to get the right shaft. And I see so many amateur players that I play with have a shaft in their driver that's too stiff that, helps them slice it more. And we don't want that. So if you can, go to a PGA Superstore or a local PGA Tour pro and get fit, get the right shaft in your driver, and it'll make golf a heck of a lot more fun.
Yeah. Well, JC, we appreciate you taking the time, buddy. Good luck this weekend at the Gators Invitational. We'll be following y'all. And I know you got a good team there, and we wish y'all a lot of luck.
Shane, you are the man. Thank you so much for having me on, and hope to get to see you soon, buddy.
Absolutely. That's JC Deacon. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. We're going to take our final time out of the program and wrap up this Monday edition. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning.
Hey Gators, this is Coach Steve Spurrier. Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Darlene Weeby Realtor Caldwell Banker MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Davis Gainesville Chevrolet, Miapa Latin Cafe, Rat Spot, Okito America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, TV Financial, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Dar Shakow Insurance. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all our great sponsors that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. At Center State Bank, we put business first. We're the largest community bank in the state of Florida. And understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. Center State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations to serve you better. Center State Bank, member FDIC. We got a couple of Facebook Lives here. Hal says, early in his golf career, everyone thought Tiger would be the all-time majors winner, so let's not coronate Mahomes for 10 Super Bowls yet. Dude, what game were you watching? Mahomes' QB rating was barely 50. Did you see he had 3 backup linemen? If Patrick Mahomes is the most talented quarterback that's ever played the game, and whether he gets to 10 Super Bowls or not, he's still the most talented that will ever play. Put up, producer, put up the picture. He threw a 35-yard strike like this right here, horizontal to the ground. Phenomenal player, ran for his life. I thought he played an unbelievable game, had no chance because of the front 4 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's see here. Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. This month, get a free annual maintenance plan with every residential duct cleaning purchase, $199 value. Our service department is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for your convenience. This Day in Sports, brought to you by Comfort Temp. Let me find it. I had it pulled up just a second ago. And it is a 1986 5'7" Spud Webb of the Atlanta Hawks wins your NBA slam dunk competition. That's brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Don't forget tomorrow. Rick says Mahomes will be the next Brady. Brady is a solid, greatest quarterback of all time. Mahomes is on a different level than anybody that's ever played from an athletic standpoint and from throwing the football. Will he get to 10 Super Bowls? I don't know. I think he will. He's been to 2 in 3 years as a starter. Should have been 3 out of 3, but kind of a controversial call cost him the first year. I'm a huge Patrick Mahomes. I love Tom Brady too, but when I look at it from a quarterback standpoint, there is no comparison from an athleticism and from the throwing ability that Patrick Mahomes has. So we shall see, but congratulations to the Tampa Bay Bucks being your world champions. We'll see if they can repeat. It's hard to repeat. Ask the Kansas City Chiefs. Don't forget, tomorrow we have Coach Tim Walton of the head coach of the softball team. They crank up, I believe, Friday. We'll also have a good old Buddy Martin on the show as well. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you right by Wrap Spot. Be safe out there, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.